Good afternoon, YouTube. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome back to the channel here. What is going on, guys? Good to see you here again. Excuse me, clear my throat. Back on the V1 Simulations channel. We are in day 2 now of the A321 from Toliss, guys. Runar coming in with a membership right off the bat. Positive rates in chat. For all my members out there already, Runar, welcome, man. Exclamation point, welcome if you want to have a little bit more information on your new perks here at the V1 Simulations channel. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, man. Glad to have you on board. So, guys, welcome, welcome. Swarm 3513, good to see you here. Nick, how's it going? Dougal McTavish, man, I was worried. I wasn't sure if you were going to be able to make it to the stream. I know you're having some power outage issues. Good to see you on board, Dougal. Welcome. Issa, what is up, man? Rose Jackson, hello, how's it going? Good to see you here. Go Fly Sim, hello, hello. Flight Surgeon, good to see you. Captain Tom, I see we're going to my nearest largest airport. How's it going, Captain Tom? Good to see you, yeah. Yes, sir. Dennis Walker Armstrong. Hey, I see you have a little Spirit emblem there on your tag, so this will be right up your alley, man. If you're a Spirit Airlines fan, we are in the banana bus today, guys. The A321 with Spirit Airlines. We're going to be leaving at Dallas Fort Worth Airport here, going to New Orleans. Brand new terminal down there. Everything really nicely done by Vertical Sim. I love that airport. I love the way he did it, so we're going to check that out today. It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and just open these because it looks a little funky with the loaders in there. So we're going to leave those on open mode. All right, let's jump right into it. Dougal, power's back on. Excellent, man. Excellent. So today, guys, we are not going to be on Pilot Edge. As much as I love doing the ATC thing, and I thought it was pretty fun yesterday, we had a lot of traffic there in Southern California going into LA. Pretty cool seeing that, working with ATC. I feel like I didn't get to really talk too much about the 321 just because I'm worried about missing a frequency change, and then I'll start talking about something, and then I end up on the next frequency handoff, and I forget my train of thought. So we're going to take a break from the network today. We'll be back on it this week. Good afternoon, Vin. It says good afternoon, V1. Good to see you here. So that's kind of the plan for today. It's a shorter flight down there to New Orleans. It shouldn't be bad, but I do know it is ripping right now in Dallas. I think the wind is it's blowing almost 30 here. A little while ago, I was out walking the dogs around, the kids around, and everything. So let's go ahead and hop into the cockpit of our A321. We're basically cold and dark here. We'll turn up our screens. A lot of you guys ask, why are these screens always dark? So I don't know if there's a way to configure them. I think it'd be cool if you can configure them bright so you don't have to mouse wheel them up. But back in the day, before we had LEDs and we had the LCD, liquid crystal display screens, there was a phenomena known as burn through. And that would happen if you left the screen on bright. It would eventually burn through to the screen. It would have a permanent ghost image. So it was procedure to shut the screens off. Now, that's not really most Airbuses now, at least in the US. There's still some old ones out there, but most of them that I fly are pretty much no longer LCDs. Now, we do have a few boxes that have that old screen here on the McDo, and that can make it very difficult to read, especially when the sun is shining in. Like you can see right here, the sun is coming in through the window right onto that MCDU, and that would make it really difficult to read if it was the old version. But that's why you got to turn the screens up when you get into a cold and dark airplane. Colin Shirley, what's going on? I'm trying to fly to DFW from MSY right now, but there's a 144 knot headwind. Ouch. Yeah, so that's going to be a nice tailwind for us. That's why I chose to go eastbound on this flight. I did not want to battle the headwinds going into Dallas. So good luck with your arrival, Colin. Ryan, hello. How's it going, man? Good to see you. 114 knots. I got you. Captain Geo, what's good, man? Rand Cooley says, good, no Pilot Edge. All right. Yeah, I know some of you guys love it. Some of you guys would rather not see Pilot Edge. I'm kind of indifferent. You know, I think it's a good learning experience for a lot of guys that are trying to build confidence in ATC. You know, you always want to hear it. The best way to get more proficient at air traffic control is just to listen to it. So I like doing it. Plus, you get some of the traffic features and stuff, which is kind of cool. But for me personally, when I'm streaming with you guys and I really want to talk about something specific, or just have Airbus talk. I mean, I go into these streams not even really planning, most of the time, not even really planning an in-depth systems discussion, but you guys ask the questions, and then that one question leads to another, and then pretty soon we go off down the systems trailhead there, and I really enjoy doing that. So I think it's going to benefit us today to not be on the ATC and network. Carta says blowing everywhere. V1 got 13, gusting 24 in O'Hare. Wow, yeah, it's blowing, man. Yes, Issa, they dimmed the screens after flight. That is correct. Tim says this afternoon in southwest of France, we got some gust winds of up to 50 knots. Very bumpy landings and takeoffs. Absolutely, man. That will definitely get the pucker factor going with the 50-knot gusts for sure. Quentin Johnson, V1, when are we going to see more DCS? Dude, hopefully this week, man. I've taken a break from DCS recently. If you've been on the DCS front, it actually had a patch that came out, and it made some of the online play pretty unstable. So I've kind of taken a break from that, but hopefully this week we should be getting back onto it here. So, all right, let's get into our flight plan today. We've got our overhead on, our APU is on. Let's make sure our sounds are set. So definitely waiting for those BSS pack. I tried putting my CFM from BSS into the 321, and it seemed to work for the most part. However, there's some bugs and stuff, so it's not quite right. So we're going to need to wait for an official fix from Comrade, I think. But let's go ahead and initialize the aircraft here. We're going to be departing KDFW. Let's pop everything out here. We're not going to spend too much time on the ground talking. We're going to get up, Geared Airborne, get out of here. So KDFW to MSY. Ace says, how come on every stream I see that V-speeds are in the 160s? Because there is something, I hate to say wrong. I don't know if it's wrong. I don't know the logic behind the calculators for the Toliss loadout screen here. So I don't know what are the factors it takes into account. To me, just totally spitballing here, it almost seems like it doesn't take into account runway length. That's kind of what it seems. I don't know if that's true or not, but what we're going to do is I have some real load sheet here. I know you can't see it, but I'll make the noise. I have a real load sheet here and performance data from a 321. We're going to put in those numbers today, and we're going to use those V-speeds, and we'll show you the difference, and we'll see how the airplane behaves with some real numbers. So let's go ahead and load in the flight number. We're going to be Spirit Wings. How about Spirit Wings 321? We're going to just kind of go with that. Cost index, let's do a cost index of 25. Since we've got a rip and tailwind there, we could save a little bit of fuel. Flight level is going to be 310. Align, and normally we'd have a confirm align there, but that's all right. DFW departure. We know we're going to be shooting off southbound. This is my home airport. 17 right. We're going to go off the Marsh 2. Where are we flying, Jackson? It's Dallas to New Orleans. So Project Fly has begun giving issues today. So there is no overlay because Project Fly. I used the Project Fly overlay, and I just couldn't get Project Fly running. It just was not doing its thing. So, all right, there's our March 2 Azalea, so I apologize for that. But we'll keep the screen a little bit cleaner, too, as well. I'm not exactly sold on overlays either, just because I like having a nice, clean screen. But I might be working on a full adjustment here for the channel, like kind of just a new overlay on top and some new notifications and things like that, just to change it up. But we'll rock it today. It shouldn't be a problem. All right, so after March 2 Zalia transition, then we go to Sierra Whiskey Bravo. I always want to say Snow Hill. It's not. I believe it's Sawmill. That's a very popular fix. SWB. Issa says V1, the aircraft most likely don't take the runway length into account, as I always have the V1 and VRSP the same. Issa, that's exactly what I was thinking, man. That's what I was saying. I think if I were to guess, it appears that there's an issue with runway length calculations. And I'll just tell you right now, before we even get to the loading, the speeds we're going to use today, guys, for airplane loaded around 75.7 kilos, which is not super heavy, but it's, I mean, it's a 321 still. The V speeds were 40, 45, 48. So that should just be, you know, there's something interesting going on here that I'm gonna dig to the bottom of it. Just give me some time. MSY arrival, I believe they're gonna be landing south actually. Let's see here. Let's pull up MSY. We have the option of landing 1120 on a short runway. Let's pull up active sky. What do we got? MSY is showing 160 at 14. Landing 11. So it would take a. We could land 11. That's gonna be interesting. Do we take the crosswind off 11 or do we land 2? Yeah, we're definitely a 20 with a 40 knot, 40. Well, let's look at the rows here. So if the wind is 160, it's going to be coming from here. 11 is going to be almost a direct crosswind. 20 would be much shorter. We're going to plan 20. We'll do the low 20. That's only a 40-degree difference versus, I don't know, 50. We'll plan 20, Addad 1, and we're going off of arrow right. Let's see, Addad 1. No LSU transition? Oh, there it is. I had to scroll down. Perfect. LSU, insert. All right, so we should have our route in the box now. And we can change runway once we get a little bit closer. Rose Jackson says, do you have memorable stories like an event you'll never forget? Rose Jackson, absolutely. I tell all my stories on the V1 After Dark podcast. So the V1 After Dark podcast is a members-only perk. I think I've got, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 videos out now. Maybe one of you members know off the top of your head. And the way it's structured, I do Airbus versus Boeing. I do Airbus update for everything. And then we do a safety tip of the month for all the pilots out there. And then I have a cockpit confessional, which our good friend Dimitri came up with that title. And I tell a story from, you know, whether it's a serious story or a comical story. So this last one was a comical one that I told on my podcast. And that's only for members, so it's just an extra perk. But yeah, I definitely have a lot of stories out there. Dimitri, speaking of the devil, welcome. Greetings from Vancouver, Captain K. This bird still gives me wacky V-speeds compared to Top Cat. Hope we can figure this out. I tend to believe Top Cat. Dimitri, 100% agree with you, man. And let me tell you, I don't know if you were here when I brought it up, but I'm going to use real performance data today from a 321, and the V-speeds are 140, 45, and 50 or something like that. So they're much lower. These are real V-speeds on a moderately loaded 321. So I agree that the V-speed calculator has an issue. I just don't know exactly what it is. And I hate to say that it's wrong because I don't know if indeed it's wrong or if it just doesn't take something into account that maybe it should. So the Top Cat is still giving me issues. I need to figure out a way to get Top Cat installed. Every time I launch the installer, it gives me an error and it locks up. It doesn't even give me an error, it just locks up. So I have to force quit with Task Manager. It's kind of weird. But I am going to dig into that this week. That is my #1 priority. XP1972 just passing through, hitting the like button and saying what's up. XP1972, excellent, man. Thank you for smashing that like button. Guys, if you haven't already, one of my favorite places to chill, just enjoy the community is XP1972, man. He's been flying the Airbus 321 here recently as well. And I said it before, I'll say it again. It's like I've never met X-Plane 1972, but it almost feels like he's a personal friend just because of his community and his environment that he streams in. So welcome on board, XP. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, man. Fantastic job this morning into Salt Lake as well, especially with that wind blowing across. All right, so our secondary is in there. We're just going to load a quick perf for the secondary. I am doing the secondary in the Toliss because I'm running those random failures. We never know when we may have to come back around. So let's take a look at the barometric pressure here in Dallas. I imagine it's probably got to be a little high, right, with all this wind blowing in. Let's see. Oh, no, 2.76, so it's dropped way down, went the other direction. Well, it is a south wind, so that would make sense. 29er76. 29er76, 29er76 in the box. Temperature of... I like to use the airplane. 23 degrees. And for the wind right down the runway like that, I'm not going to use that as a performance gain, so I'm just going to zero the wind out with 762 in the secondary. Nothing to hard tune, rad nav, init page B. All right, let's go ahead and load this puppy up. All right. Let's look at this loadout here. So essentially, gross takeoff weight was 167,000. So we need to do some quick conversions here. So 167,000 pounds to kilograms is going to be 75.7. All right. So I'm looking for 75.7 weight. What was our fuel on board? Fuel on board. That's a lot. We don't know if we're going to take that much gas. 18,000 pounds to kilos is 8.1. That's way too much gas, but hey, we'll take it for wins. We'll back it off a little bit and we'll adjust our V speeds. I'm going to do 7 on the block fuel just because 8 is excessive. This flight was a long flight. This was a flight from, where was it? Atlanta. Doesn't have the destination on there. Anyway, I'm pretty sure this was a longer flight, so we don't need that much gas. We'll knock the knots down a couple. So 7,000 on the block fuel there. We don't need that much cargo in the aft, so let's go ahead and get you out of there. Forward cargo, it looks good. 192 packs. That's going to give us a zero fuel weight of 68.7, which we're not going for exact numbers here, but I just want to get in the ballpark so we can use real V speeds here. Zero fuel weight was 145.6. So 145.6, this is why I wish we had pounds, and this is 66 on the zero fuel. So we've got to back this off a little bit. Let's back this off. There we go. We'll take 159. How's that? We'll take 169. That looks good. 24.7. The aircraft CG real world was 23. Oh, no, it was actually 21.7. So they probably were distributed a little bit more forward.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
We'll set it like there. That's ballpark close enough, but that's roughly what this 321 was. Thank you there, Pierre, for the subscription. Welcome. Good to have you on board, man. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and do apply these load settings, quick refuel, defuel. That looks good. Now, flaps 1 plus F. Yeah, these speeds are way high here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our own speeds, and we're going to do our own zero fuel weight CG. So 20.8 with 67.3. Block fuel 7.0. Loadmaster Tip, welcome aboard, man. I missed the message up there from Vertical Sim. How's it going? V1, I know we've talked about the weight bearing markers a little while ago, but I'm wondering why some of them have black tips on the end and some don't. I'm not exactly sure what you mean. I'd have to look at a picture, man. But maybe it's a visibility thing? Could it be just for visibility? I'm not exactly sure what you're referencing with the black tip on them like that. So, all right, perf speeds. So we're going to use real world speeds. 140. Where were they at? 140, I believe I said. Yep, 140, 145, 148. And then we'll check our weight before takeoff and adjust if necessary. Flaps 1, flex of 55. So normally I like to do the no flex and flight sim method here at the V1 channel, but we're going to flex 55 today. All right, so that means our box is pretty much set up now. Put you back into arc mode, our top altitude, no ATC. We're going to go straight up to 310. That is good. Everything else looks good. Let's get our fuel pumps on. Overhead lesson real quick. while I'm up here and I forget, somebody asked yesterday what the commercial and galley shed push buttons are. We don't have these on the 319. I think we have the galley. We don't have the commercial. The commercial push button is essentially a commercial, haven't even started drinking yet, commercial shed push button. So if I press the commercial button in real life, what it would do is it would eliminate the electrical load for all quote-unquote commercial loads from Airbus. That includes cabin and cargo lights, water and toilet system, drain mast ice protection, so that's interesting, galley, passenger entertainment systems, and the semi-automatic cargo loading if installed. That's an option, depends on what aircraft you have. So essentially it will shed a lot of electrical load. I would imagine that you would use this push button in some sort of abnormal electrical configuration, whether you were down to one generator or something like that and you needed to reduce electrical load, you would start by shedding the commercial goods. Now the galley push button does what you think. It basically eliminates power to the galley. It sheds the galley power. It has a couple different things on ground and in flight, but no, essentially it's the announcement system, pre-recorded announcements, telephone, video, etc. that will be shed. So all for reducing electrical load on the airplane. What was our passenger loadout today? We had 169, so we don't even need to use the econ flow because we've got more than 147 passengers on board. So that looks good. Seatbelts on, auto, arm, that. Let's close up the doors and get out of here. Salim, he says, V1, hi sir, did it true that you can make takeoff thrust only after 5 minutes of startup and you can't switch off the engines only after 5 minutes after deploying the reverse? So for the Neo, it's 5 minutes. For shutdown, that's a cooldown period. Now for startup, yes, if the airplane is cold, which is if it's sat overnight or something like that, first flight of the day, start up those engines, you need a 5-minute warm-up time. Sometimes it's 3 minutes. Like that can vary operator to operator. Some have a little bit more of a buffer, some don't. But anywhere between 3 and 5 minutes warm-up time. And a 5-minute shutdown for the Neo if you used full reverse. 3 minutes if you are on a CEO or standard engine. All right, let's go ahead and start closing up the doors here. Now I'm going to manually close these. I do love the way that these work in auto mode. And if I wasn't streaming, I would keep them in auto mode. But I'm using it manually here so the replay we don't get glitched out with the door open. Get rid of external power. I guess I didn't turn that push button off, so that was no. All right, everything else looks good. On top here, we'll go ahead and get rid of the ground handling. Goodbye. And we're just going to hide them because, boop, they're gone. All right, let's go ahead and run a checklist. And go. So, pull up my handy dandy checklist here again. I'm going to print this out at one point here. I will. Collection checklist. All right, here we go. Maintenance log and tail number. Onboard and check. Cockpit prep is complete. Gear pins and covers are removed. Signs we have on and auto. Aiders, we're fully aligned in nav mode. Altimeters, 2976 is set. EFB checked. Windows, doors, and slides, they are all closed and armed. That's an interesting depiction there. Almost looks... Something looks off about that, but that's right. Everything's slide, closed and armed. Beacon is on. Thrust levers idle. Parking brake is set for now. 4-star check is complete. Let's go ahead and get out of here, guys.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
So if we're going off 1-7, we're gonna be pushed. We're gonna push back the other way here. They'll probably say they'd probably push them. I don't know, deep here. A beam right about there. That looks perfect. Short push, and we'll taxi out.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
All right. Slam Cannon in the house. Slam Cannon, what is up? Guys, give Slam Cannon a round of applause or a virtual congratulations. He did just complete his first solo flight. Now, I don't know, was it today or yesterday, man? But just sent me some pictures of it, and that is a fantastic job, Slam Cannon. It's a moment you will probably never forget. I still remember, probably, you'll never forget that moment, man. That is a fantastic accomplishment. And that's absolutely fantastic. So congrats on your first solo flight, man.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
All right, light it up. What is the difference between 1 and 2 on the nav and logo swarm? So basically there are 2 nav lights in each wingtip and 2 position lights on the tail as well. So if one bulb burns out, you would switch to position 2, and then you'd have a backup, because you need to have all your external lights working. So you have position 1 is one set, position 2 is another set. Obviously the logo will come on either in position 1 or position 2. It's just whether if you back it up or not. Now, the way we use it is if the captain's flying, it'll be in position 1. If the first officer is flying, we'll put it in position 2. That's just so each bulb gets
So
an
connected
even
and
burn.
bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, we are ready to go. Brakes released. There goes the jet
Starting
bridge.
pushback. And you may start engines.
Roger that. We will start it up here. Let's go to the tug view. This is the Gerald McGinley view right here. Captain Geo view. Geo, you fueled. Do you push back? I don't know if Geo is still here. It was today, Slam Cannon. Awesome, man. Positive rates for Mr. Slam Cannon. Slam Cannon? My goodness. Is that what the stream is going to be about? Slam Cannon. That is awesome, dude. I remember my first solo this day. It was pretty fun. Just realizing, I think I didn't realize I was really soloing until I was on downwind. And that was when it hit me, you know. It's like, wow, I am in this airplane by myself. But fantastic. Pilot Andre says, I remember my solo flight in the 172 just like it was yesterday. Yep. It's a time you won't forget, man. Rose Jackson says, V1, what you'd like doing on layovers and do pilots buddy pick like flight attendants? Oh, like buddy bid? Yeah, we can buddy bid if you want to. Like a first officer can bid to fly with the captain. But it did not really with flight attendants because it's everybody's separate now with our work rules and sleep regulations. What do I like doing on overnight? So honestly, I like hanging out and watching
Operation complete.
XP1972
Set
streaming.
parking brake.
He's streaming. So, but on overnights,
Disconnecting tow.
in my
Stand
young
by.
years, you know, definitely went out and explored a little bit more. But I mean, now it's, you know, am I going to go to the bar with another dude? I got a wife and kid at home. It's like, I'd rather just save that money and go out with my wife when I get home. All right, let's go ahead and fire up engine number 2. Everything looks good on top. We'll single engine taxi out of here. I haven't single engine taxied this puppy in a while, so go ahead and start up engine numero 1. Disconnect and hand signals. Really missing those BSS sounds, though. Captain Tom, how much bourbon have you had already? None, believe it or not. I did, however, just crack open the good old Bud Light Platinum. Just taking a break from the harder alcohol today.
Tow is disconnected.
Something
A
about-
bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
All right, thanks for the smooth push, man. We'll see you next time. So something about being outside. I did some work outside today, and it was hot and stuff. Something about coming inside and just having a nice cold Bud Light. Peely UK has joined the channel. Commercial pilot Peely UK. Welcome aboard, my friend. Positive rates in chat for Peely UK. Peely, welcome aboard, man. Exclamation point, welcome if you're unfamiliar with a few of the extra perks that you now have access to as a commercial pilot member here on the channel. I'm glad to have you on board, man. Absolutely fantastic. Good start on engine 1, so we'll arm that. We'll set that. Flaps position 1. Do love the sounds. Where's my sounds? Where's the sounds? They seem quieter today. Why do the sounds seem so quiet? Normally the flaps seem louder, don't they? What's up with that?
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
Do I need to turn these up? Oh, I don't know, man. I'm confused. I'm lost without... Oh, please. Okay, sorry. Whoops. Anyway, we got our flaps out. Another subscriber. Thank you. I'm not even going to try to mess up that name. Thank you. Jeff Faviano, one question. Are you a musician? Me? No. I am not a musician. I did play an instrument, believe it or not, back in the day. And I love music, but I would not call myself a musician by any means. All right, yellow electric pump on for single engine taxi. We'll leave the APU bleed on as well. Actually, let's do it 100% proper. We'll kill the bleed. Leave the APU running. Everything else looks good. We're ready for single engine taxi. So we'll double check our hydraulics here. For the single engine taxi, this is why. Let's go ahead and talk about this real quick. This is the benefit of not being on an ATC network. Single engine taxi, and why it makes no sense whatsoever to start engine 2 first. Green system, normal braking, right? So we want to have the green system powered. So we always start engine 1 first, especially if you're going to single engine taxi. Yes, you could start engine 2 first, but the problem with that is... YD Sim, welcome. Thank you for the subscription, man. The problem with that is the only way you're going to pressurize the green system, which must be pressurized, is through the PTU. So if you start engine 2 first, you're going to hear nothing but the PTU barking the entire taxi out, which can be extremely uncomforting to passengers and annoying. So if you start engine 1 first and you taxi out, the yellow system has to be pressurized as well, but if we don't turn the yellow electric pump on, we're going to run the PTU. So we run into the same problem that we would if we started 2 first. But the yellow electric pump will solve our problem. Without the yellow electric pump, I would have to run the PTU. But since the yellow system has an electric pump, we can turn that on. We eliminate the sound of the PTU during a single engine taxi. Now we have all three systems pressurized, and we don't have to listen to the PTU barking. That is why you start engine 1 first. And I have a video on my channel in detail about single engine taxi, so check it out. It's definitely outdated. It's in the 319, believe it or not. So it's in the Toliss 319, and that goes in detail, and I show you more of that. But all right, enough of that. Single engine taxi. Let's take it out the keg route. Kilo Echo Golf 17 right. Cardboard 31, what's up, man? Welcome to the channel. Alright, let's go ahead and get back in the cockpit here. This is a tight ramp here. Air Canada, love that livery. That new livery on Air Canada is fantastic, especially on that 321. HD Sim in the house. What's up, V1? Man, the legend. Nah, man. I'm none of those. I'm just another 321 pilot, man. But appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. We're going to try to get a landing rate better than 321. So for those of you who are unaware, on yesterday's stream when we landed with the 321 foot per minute, that was actually intentional. So I'm actually thinking of doing a giveaway here with a challenge. A 321 challenge, and the first one to properly execute my challenge, which I'm not going to tell you what it is, will be the award winner of the giveaway. So not official yet, but thinking about it. Dimitri, what's up, man? V1 says, I asked on Discord too if the 321 has had the same issue with the auto rudder level stability part of the fly-by-wire. Have you noticed anything? Can you check on this flight? With auto rudder levels of stability, so are you saying that so what are your assumptions? Is it too much? Is there too much interaction or not enough? We can try it. How would you like me to test it? Are we just talking about the airplane staying coordinated in flight? So here's spot 48, Spirit Wings 321 taxi 17 right, Kilo Echo Golf. Kilo Echo Golf for Spirit Wings 321. So we look up at our little chart here. We basically just came out of the Echo satellite, And Kilo, Echo, and then Golf is or Kilo, Echo, Golf down there. Commonly referred to as the keg route here in DFW. Carter says, did I hear challenge V1? Yeah, maybe, man. Oh, stay on the center line here. Hey V1, is it hard to install the Neo mod? Yes. But Carter has a video out now on how to do it. And that should definitely help you guys in getting the Neo mod installed. There is a video out. It is, if you need the link to it, it's in the Discord, and it's also, I posted it up on the community tab as well. Captain Tom says, it's Spirit Wangs. Come on, man, not Spirit Wings. You're right. Spiritual Wangs. Spiritual Wangs 321 to actually Kilo Echo Golf. Spiritual Wangs 321. Somebody mentioned that there is a DFW coming out. Who was making it? I think Colin Shirley, you were the one who mentioned there's a new DFW coming out. Because this Aerosoft one is nice, but it is lacking. I mean, I look at the textures and everything. Definitely lacking. Wow, I can't stay on the center line at all when I'm single engine taxiing, huh? Dimitri says, it seems to me that the 321 tends to be not as stable, but it could be me and your settings. We'll take a look at it, Dimitri. We'll take a look at it. The 321 definitely does yaw a little bit more in flight, especially if you're in the back. If you're sitting in the very back of a 321 in turbulence, it can be nauseating at times. Poi says, hi V1. I noticed a small problem with the auto brake and the temps at 321. The right tire always gets overheated after landing with auto brakes. Interesting, Poi. We'll do an auto brake test we'll do an auto brake landing. Comedy Pilot, we're going to New Orleans, MSY. I do apologize, there is no overlay. I'll try to launch the overlay here once we get to the end of the runway. But I couldn't get Project Fly to open. I think it bugged out. Gaming Ninja says, I've never seen a Fin airplane single-engine taxi before. It's probably an airline decision. Yeah, definitely would be, maybe it's prohibited to do single-engine taxi. So we just do it for fuel savings, economy savings, things like that. Definitely do a single-engine taxi whenever we can, but I have no doubt in my mind that I'm sure there's some companies that will prohibit a single-engine taxi. Yeah, you and me both, Captain Tom. We'll definitely happily take a new DFW. Davin says, hi everyone, just want to ask what is the correct with the clocks? I've seen some of them start the main clock with the blocks off and chronos when they call takeoff normally. So, okay, the clock thing, every airline, especially in the Americas anyway, is going to have some type of ACAR system. So your block time starts, and it could be, I've been at different airlines where there are different things, right? So one airline was the main cabin door closed and locked and the brakes released. That would start the clock. Other airlines, it's wheel roll. As soon as you begin pushing back from the gate, the clock trips off, and that starts your block time, right? Now, the chrono time, I will start a chrono if I'm doing a toga takeoff because I need to know how long the engines are going to be going at maximum thrust. There are limitations, depending if you're in the 19, 20, and 21, there are limitations on how long the aircraft can be in toga thrust. So if I take off toga thrust and we have an emergency and I need toga on the operating engine, I need to know and make sure I do not exceed a limitation on the engine in toga thrust. That's why I will start a chrono here. Now, I always start the chrono, or this chrono over here, at gear up. So it's positive rate, gear up. The non-flying pilot will retract the gear and start the clock. That just go ahead, and that's just an extra clock to see how long you've been flying. That starts your actual flight time, right? And then we can always check our block times by coming into the McDo menu, the ATSU or the AOC, and then looking at the ACARS time, right? So that's pretty much it. There's no point. I never start a clock at the gate or anything like that because then it's just clutter and it's kind of stupid. So most every airline that has ACARS will have some type of block time recorded by that, and then it will uplink, at when the parking brake is set, and then one of the first door is opened. All right, let's go ahead and fire up engine 2 here. So we're going to go yellow electric pump is off, APU bleed is on. Now you hear the PTU running. Hear that? That's because the yellow electric pump is off. If you don't start engine 1 first, you're going to listen to this the entire taxi out. So that's why we start engine 1 first and not 2. So let's go ahead and fire up engine 2. We've got bleed pressure starting 2. And now as it's spinning up, pressure is becoming stable in the yellow system, the PTU ceases. How's the flare law? I think Phantom, oh, Phantom's in the chat. Excellent. Okay, so Phantom, I have a new theory about the flare law. And I actually opened up the books and was reading it again. So I have a tendency, especially in the last stream, I keep flaring early, and I can't figure out why. And then I realized something. So I kind of knew it all along, but the Airbus in flare mode, upon reaching 30 feet, will begin a -2 degree pushover. So it's going to push the nose down 2 degrees within 8 seconds. So at 8 seconds time, the airplane's going to be pitched down 2 degrees. Sir Luke 8507, what's up, man? Thank you for subscribing. So I don't think, I do not think the aircraft is pushing over, because that's what initiates the feeling of a conventional flare and you start pulling back. At 30 feet, if you don't start pulling back in the real airplane, you're going to smash. You're going to smash pretty hard. So, or you're going to end up flaring really late and you're going to 3-pointer the sucker, and that's equally bad. You don't want a 3-point land at any airliner. So I think the problem lays in the 30-foot marker of the flare law. And it's not just the Toliss. I kind of think it's the same around the board. So I'll read the excerpt out of the book here once we get airborne and we're getting ready to go into New Orleans. But let me know what you think about that, Phantom. I think it has to do with the airplane, or it may be doing it, maybe it is pitching down, but because we don't have that seat of our pants feel. William, thank you for subscribing, man. Welcome. If you don't have that seat of your pants feel where you feel the airplane pitching down, it's hard to really judge your speed. And it's ingrained. Colton, welcome aboard. Thank you for subscribing, man. It's ingrained in my muscle memory when to start flaring with my side stick over here, right? And I keep doing it the way I would do it in the real airplane, and it's not translating well to X-plane. But that's just a theory. I might just suck at flying X-plane. Who knows? But anyway, let's go ahead and get out of here. We got to do some checks here. Flight controls. Why do we still have that up? Because I still have the engine thing on. Boom, boom, boom. Everything is off. Engine 2 is started. Let's do a flight control check. So now I think we bugged this thing out. So let's just go back to here. Flight control check. Here we go. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. All right, so that looks good here. We're going to go auto brakes max. Takeoff config. I can hear the APU spooling down. PWS is on and auto. Radar PWS. TARI, we'll leave it in 2000. Oops, I just extended the flaps. Oh no, what did I just do? I totally just wigged out the flap handle. All right, we're still 1+F. Oh man, you'd be thinking I'd drink the bourbon right now. Nick Glass, thank you for the subscription, man. Welcome aboard. All right, we are ready to go. Let's get out of here. One last check. Our takeoff weight is 74.1. So 74.1 is 163,000 pounds. Thank you, Fear Harry. Welcome aboard, man. Takeoff weight was 160. The actual takeoff weight is kind of blocked out. I want to say it's like 4. So we are pretty close. So these speeds should work out pretty good. So we have a real V-speeds from the real airplane set up. So let's go ahead and get out of here. Cinematic taxi on. Chris, 73 says, good AV1. 200 people watching. Glad you're getting more and more popular. Best A32 series streams in town. Chris73, thank you, man. Welcome aboard. Appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and make our turn on. I think that was a much better lineup than before. Still even undercut it a little bit there, didn't we? Nope, that's pretty perfect. All right, here we go. Let's spool them up 50%. Get my screens out. Spool them up 50, nose forward on the stick. Here we go. We're actually flexing today. Man Flex 55 SRS runway. Auto thrust is blue. $80 knots, thrust set. Neutralize that input by 100 knots. Oh yeah, this feels good. Yeah, rotating right about 140. V1, I'll rotate. A little slow on the rotation. Positive rate. Gear up. We're navving. Goodbye, DFW. Curtis says, I'm super missing those Neo engine sounds there. You want the IAE. Yeah, I hear you, man. I think I'm going to be in the Neo next. I think we're going to have to get back in that Neo. I miss those Neo sounds, man. Definitely miss those Neo sounds. That felt plausible for the takeoff roll. Chrono, Swarm, thank you. Chrono is on. Good emojis. Good emojis there. All right, we'll go ahead and lower the nose. Remember, before you reduce to climb power, make sure you get that positive trend in airspeed. There we go, positive trend in airspeed. Now I'll go ahead and reduce to thrust climb, auto thrust. Put it right to the flight director. Perfect. Yoga. That taxi was so long. Hey, Will, man, you have no idea, man. Dallas can be wicked with taxi. It can be absolutely wicked, especially if you land on 17 left. You basically land in a different zip code than when you park at the terminal. Not even joking, without traffic, a standard taxi from 17 left to, let's say you're parking on the west side, it could be 40 minutes. Not even exaggerating. Disarm the spoilers there.
Subscriber ahead. Look.
Tormass1 just subscribed. Welcome, man. Welcome aboard. That thing did not want to rotate. Yeah, didn't quite want to rotate there at 140, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to mess with my settings a little bit more with my joystick. Could be an X-plane thing, you know? I could just have my settings not exactly right. Man, we're already into 30 knots of wind. When the temperature is nice and warm, so we'll do an auto flap retract here. Wow, we're gonna have to turn that down. There we go. Now I can think. There was the auto flap retraction, but we kind of missed it because I was messing with the settings. Slats up. Oh, and I forgot to set 18,000 feet here. Oh well. It's going to flash at us. I know we don't set standard till 18,000, but I'm not going to look at that thing flashing the whole way. 240 knots to meet the restriction there, coming off the marsh. VLS is right up there next to 240 knots. Let's do a flyby shot in the turn here. How long is this flight going to be? It shouldn't be too long, Will, because we're going to have a pretty wicked tailwind. We're gonna have a pretty wicked tailwind. I'm gonna go autopilot 1 so we can enjoy some outside sounds or outside views. Ryan says, yeah, you could have a profitable shuttle service. You absolutely could, man. It's nuts. Lisa says, I saw a 737 terrain escape maneuver demonstration. How would it be done in 320? Well, you're just in luck, Lisa. On my check ride prep video that I did in the 320, I actually did a jip whiz. And essentially what you do, it's pretty easy in the Airbus. Firewall the thrust levers and pull full aft on that side stick. You will not stall, you will not overstress, if you're in normal law, that is. Because the fly-by-wire will not let you overstress the airframe, and it will not let you stall. It will give you maximum AOA. Check that your speed brakes are retracted. It's a memory item. But realistically, if you had the speed brakes full or any deflection, and you went full toga and pitched aft, the speed brakes would retract by themselves. That came from the American Airlines crash on a 757. 18K seems high to you. Where are you from? It's 5,000. Yeah, in the States, man, North America, 18,000 feet transition altitude. Google. Yo, guys, that like button is still there. That's right, man. Thanks, Google. Appreciate it. What brand of vacuum do you think TSS uses? I don't know if this is a Hoover. This might be a Dyson, Captain Tom. What do you think? I think it's a little bit more quality than a Hoover, but it might be more comparable to a Dyson. You know? Let me know what you think. Ooh, there's downtown Dallas down there. That's pretty cool. DJ Gitz just subscribed. Welcome, man. Downtown Dallas. Beautiful. I love these fork-away orthos. I can tell you exactly where I live, but I'm up here somewhere. I love these orthos. IFR says on top of that I have to use my toll tag just to get in and out. Yep. I'll turn the volume ratio down. I don't know where. Can't find the sweet spot. We'll put it right there. That is neat. Pulling back and the fly-by-wire preventing a stall. Yeah, it's pretty cool, and it's a wicked maneuver, man. If you are ever in a situation where you're in a sim or something and you have to see how the airplane will perform at max AOA at toga thrust, it will perform. It will definitely perform. How do I do the rudder check when taxiing? So there's a push button on the tiller right here. It's kind of hard to see because it's dark in here. But you see this little round part here? That's a push button. And what this does is it disconnects the nose wheel from the rudder because they are interlinked and they have a shimmy system, and they basically... how do I explain it? So essentially you can turn the nose wheel with the rudder up to so many degrees. But what I'll do is I press this push button here, and now I have free control wheel steering, and I can go full left and full right with the rudder, and the nose wheel won't even move. So I could be in a left turn with the tiller, doing a left 90-degree turn onto a taxiway, and have full right rudder in, doing a flight control check. All right, we should have shut off our lights a long time ago. So lights are off at 10,000 feet. Wing lights are coming off. Those should have been on. And those also should have been on. Wow, we really screwed that up. Out of 18,000, let the flight attendants know. Looks like it's pretty smooth up here. We'll go ahead and get the seatbelt sign off early since it is a shorter flight. We're already getting that tailwind. I like it. I like it. 2,100 feet a minute, 280 knots. It's pretty good. Kevin Tom, you said you're feeling a Dyson? Rand Cooley, iPad sit rep. Rand, so I actually have a company iPad next to me. It's a loaner. So I have not received my new one yet. I think what's happening is we're in the transition period where, had I never lost or it never got stolen, my original one, there's a buyback process, and they swap out to the new ones every couple of years. So I think they're waiting for that process until they issue my new one. So I have a loaner iPad that I can use. but it's pretty embarrassing. It's got a bright red cover around it. Everybody knows, oh, you have a loaner iPad. You must have been an idiot and lost yours. So, still no word. No one's found it or anything. So I guess it was stolen. Hard to believe. Really hard to believe, but I guess it's the way. Andre Henner says, I've tried that to the push button. Not sure it works on the 321. So I tried it. Slam cannons, it's a very airy sound. It's like you're using the attachments on the back. Yeah, this, we'll leave it at that. Yeah, I've tried the push button, Andre, and I ended up bugging out my nose wheel steering. So there is a binding. Let me show you guys. There is a binding because I found it's pretty cool. Here we go. It's on my throttle. Here we go. Push nose wheel steering disconnect button on the tiller. This works right here. If you can find this, you can then do your flight control checks with the rudder while taxiing. So it will just, it works better than using the push button on the tiller because it doesn't bug out. Captain Tom says, I was doing some ridiculous maneuvers last night when I was testing the landing in the 319 and 321. I thought it was a sim thing. I was pulling Wicked A away and doing space shuttles. Yep. Yeah, you can get some wicked AOA, man, especially if you're lightly loaded and you go full aft on that stick. It's crazy. Ryan says it was 7,000 in the UK before Brexit even? That's interesting. Interesting. IMDimitri says, Toliss, the new 321 release will include industry-leading TSS sounds. Yeah, right. I'm gonna decline to comment. Wow. Wow. My ears. Was that loud for you guys? We're gonna turn that down. Actually, why don't we just do this? Why don't we turn down the master volume? How's that for you guys? I hope that's a little bit better. I wouldn't call them industry leading, but I don't want to dog on anybody because I mean, they've done a better job than I could, you know, making sounds, but we know there are better options out there. Smokey433 says, hello V1, I've been learning tons watching you. Excellent, Smokey. Thank you. By the way, are you pleased with Active Sky? You know what? I haven't been let down by Active Sky yet. I am enjoying these clouds right now as we're flying over the top of them. Really no hit on frames. The only thing that was an issue for me was the wind. I know it was injecting some random turbulence and it made it seem almost uncontrollable, but I didn't realize you could turn that down with the sliders. So I was able to do that, and honestly, I've had no issues with it. So I'm happy with it. But Dimitri keeps talking me into X Enviro, and I swear, I've not even joking, Dimitri. I've put X Enviro in my cart probably 3 or 4 times and just never pulled the trigger. So, and it might be because I'm part of the alpha for 2020, but at the same time, it looks so good, man. It really does. It really looks good, Dimitri. So we'll see. Colin Shirley, yes, I did get the chrono running. Dougal says those sounds are a serious letdown for me. They are. I mean, I knew they were coming, so I guess I'm not as let down as you guys because I mean I've had the product for a while, but it is what it is, man. At least you guys didn't have to pay for them. I bought them. I ended up buying. So I bought these TSS sounds for the 319, and then I ended up, because there was no IAE pack when the 319 first came out, so I bought them for that, and then I mistakenly bought them a second time, thinking it was the BSS sound pack. So I ended up buying these sounds twice, which it is what it is. Looks like the wing cam is roughly about seat 9A. Ooh, let's take a look at that. So we're talking about the forward wing or the aft wing. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's do it. Let's see. This could be a fun game. I actually just thought of a really good game for this here. So this is the seat I'm in, technically. Well, it's more than 9. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, about 18 for that, for the aft wing view. Airman Roman coming in with a $5 bomb. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, man. Airman Roman asks, hello, Captain. Quick question of what toga means and when it is needed to use. Toga means take off, go around thrust. It is the maximum thrust available for those engines at that environmental condition. So it takes into account your temperature, humidity, pressure, altitude. Well, I guess that'd be included in density, altitude. So it takes into account all of the environmental standards or actual environmentals. So whatever the temperature is, whatever the dew point is, whatever your elevation is, and it gives you the maximum thrust. You cannot get any more thrust than toga. When do we use toga? We use toga when our ACARS takeoff performance requires toga. So that would be most likely a shorter runway or something to do with a very heavily loaded aircraft, and we need to have toga thrust to make a balanced field length by V1. So that would be one option. We also must use toga power when there is a contaminated runway. So if there's standing water or slush on the runways, you got to use toga. Wind shear, if there's wind shear being reported at the field, not necessarily wind shear advisories, but if there's a wind shear in effect, then we would use toga thrust. So those are 3 additional circumstances where you must use toga, even though your performance data may say to flex. If there's wind shear, standing water, slush, contaminated runway, or what did I say, the third one was, whatever it was, you would use a toga thrust takeoff. Or you would use it in flight sim, because my new motto here on the V1 channel is no flex in flight sim. Let's go ahead and have a flyby shot here. Okay, we won't do that again because yeah, we'll just go ahead and move ourselves out here and admire some of the work. I do love the way the 321 looks, though. I'll give it that. I think she looks fantastic. Oh, the forward wing. Yeah, you were close, man. Quentin Johnson. As an airline captain on 320, can you make more than 200K? Depends on who you work for, man. Smokey says, I have X-Enviro. It tanked my frames terribly. Had since first release and still can only use 1.9. Most recent is terribly optimized. I've been rather fortunate then with the frames with Active Sky. Oh, you mean X-Enviro? Ah, yes, yes. That's the only reason why I have not pulled the trigger on it. I think, you know, if I wasn't a streamer, or if I wasn't streaming, I would use it. But running a stream takes a lot more out of your PC than just run an X-Plane. So I think it may start to hiccup the stability of my stream if I run X-Enviro. Zeke just subscribed. Excellent. I'm sorry if I missed it, man. Zeke says, what is your favorite Airbus that you've flown on? P.S. Thinking about getting my PPL. Anyway, keep up the great work, V1. Zeke, excellent, man. Thank you so much for those kind words. My favorite Airbus, 319 if I want to have fun, 321 if it's going to be bumpy, or 320 Neo. So basically all 3. But it depends. I don't have one that just stands out for any other reason. They all have a specific reason. If I'm feeling sporty, I want to be in a 319. If the rides are terrible and I know it's going to be a rough day, I'd rather be in a 321. And if I want to sound cool and pretend I'm a 777 or 350, I want to be in a Neo. Dimitri says, cue the X-Enviro eats my frame comments. I've turned blue in the face saying that if you use X-Enviro 1.13 the right way and without all the add-on clutter, it works just fine. All right, Dimitri. I'm thinking about it, man. Carta says, also getting that t-shirt we want, no flex in flight sim, a yoga. Carta, no, you're absolutely right, man. I've been looking at putting out some merch. I'm waiting for the 7K sub mark, guys. So 7K is going to be a very momentous moments for this channel. If you're unaware already, as soon as we hit the 7,000 subscriber mark, we're doing a 7-hour stream, a real world flight actually, in an Airbus. We're going to go from JFK, Kennedy, New York, to London City, and there might be some other surprises along there as well. So. Guys Fan says, is it possible in the Toliss to create your own waypoint fixes? I know that you can do it at FFAC 320 under the data button. Yes, you can create your own waypoints. I think you can. We'll take a look at it here in a minute. I know Fix Info works, and I don't know if I'll have to look. I did a video on creating waypoints. I think I did it in a 320 though, so I may be thinking about the flight factor. IFR Sim, did I miss your question? Yes, let me scroll up, man. IFR Sim, what'd you say? You know anybody at ATP at DFW? I just applied for a job there for a flight simulator IT tech. Ooh, fantastic. Do I know anybody at ATP in Dallas? Not off the top of my head, man. Not off the top of my head, unfortunately. Jackson says, wait, you realize Spirit only uses 320s, right? No. Spirit uses 319, 2021s, and Neos, man. They got them all. Daniel Smith, what's up, man? Says, hi, everyone. I got a bit of an idea for you. Should I say it here or in the Discord? PM me in the Discord, man. Can a pilot go from a 320, 330, or 340? I'm sure you can, but you'd have to be typed on it. So they are different type ratings. The 320 type rating covers the 19, 20, and 21, but it does not cover the 330 or 340. So those are additional type ratings. You know, they're going to have a few more systems in there, I'm sure. You're going to have probably some more redundancies, more redundant systems, because you basically at that point probably going to have more of everything that you would in a single aisle Airbus. But the cockpit layout is very similar, so if you were already typed in it, it's probably a seamless transition and a seamless type rating, since you already know the logic behind the Airbus and how Airbus flies and performs. Shouldn't have an issue with it. But yes, you are required to get additional type ratings. Isa says, will you fly BA1 at 1.2? Is that the westbound flight, Isa? Is that from, what is it, London City, and then they stop, where, Iceland or Greenland, and then into New York? Is British Airways 2 the one that goes eastbound? RC says, can you port the 319 BSS? Not without problems. Dimitri coming in with a 20 Canadian bomb. Oh boy. Here we go. For the X-Enviro fun, come towards the bright white light, Captain K. It's better out here in X-Enviro land. Dimitri, you sneaky fox, you, man. All right, dude. Thank you so much for your support, man. And I will take that to heart, Dimitri. I will go towards the bright lights. Appreciate your support on the channel, man. Thank you so much for being here, Mod, and just hanging out in chat. I know you've been here. You've been, Dimitri, is one of my longest fans of the channel. Thank you, Dimitri, again. Really appreciate it, man. I love having you on board with us. Yeah, the RC, the 319, I've tried putting the CFM version, port it, but there is some bugs with flap sounds and things like that, so it's not quite compatible. Which I really think, guys, remember, those of you that may still be kind of blah about the 321, remember when the 319 came out, we all felt the same way. It was kind of like, something is missing, something is missing.
Donation.
Dougal McTavish coming in with a $10 bomb as well. Dougal, another huge long-time supporter of the channel. And some more for the X-Enviro fund. Dougal. You guys must be coordinating behind the scenes, I bet. All right, man. I appreciate it, Dougal. Thank you so much for your support, man. Thank you. Really appreciate it. it looks like we're going to have to be headed towards the X-Enviro, guys. Looks like we're going to fly towards the white light, man. Goodness. Thank you, Dougal. Really appreciate it, man. Like I said with Dimitri, you've been here quite some time, and you're always active modding. Also, guys, if you haven't been aware, Dougal is spearheading the SimWings support project. Speaking of, Dougal, I'm thinking Friday. Hit me up in Discord. Let me know. I wanted to do this weekend, but I wasn't even sure that I'd be able to get this stream done, so I didn't want to plan it and then have to cancel it. But I'm thinking Friday. PM me in the Discord. We'll see if that works, and then we'll go from there. But thanks again for your support, man. Really appreciate it. BA1 stops in Shannon, Ireland, I think. Okay. But then does it continue on to Kennedy? Is that where British Airways 1 goes? Does a 380 type rating include other Airbuses? No, it'd be a 380 specific type. Pretty much any type you get is going to be specific to that airframe, with the exception of, I know this off the top of my head, the 7.5, 7.6 is a dual type. I wouldn't call it a dual type, but it's a similar type. So if you get typed in the 7.5, you're typed in the 7.6, but you do have to do a differences course. Very similar to when I flew the Embraer 170 and 190. So you got typed in the Embraer 175 or 170, whatever you want to call it, and then you had to do a differences training course for the Embraer 190, but very similar. Now, the Embraer 190 and 175 are much more alike than the 75, 76, and that's with no experience on the 75, 76. If you look at the 76, it's a wide body, double aisle. 75 is a single aisle, narrow body. So I imagine that differences course is a little bit more heavily tuned than, you know, something like the 170, 190 that I went through. Swarm says, I have X-Enviro, best purchase so far. All right, man, you guys really want to see some X-Enviro. Ooh, buddy. Where did you get the alerts? I love them. Isa. It was done by Jeremy Harvey. Jeremy Harvey created the alert sounds and the intro music to this channel. So huge shout out to him, Jeremy Harvey Music. Thank you so much, man. Still enjoying the sounds and all the wonderful things that you've created for this channel already. All right. Oh boy, what do we have? Electric TR2 fault. All right. Interesting. That's a crew awareness. Clear electric. Why is my TCAS on standby? I'll put that in TARA mode. TR2. Alright. Clear electric. TR2 fault. Okay, let's go ahead and pull up the book. So this is one thing that I love about the Toliss. So you guys that, you know, we always talk about the Toliss and the flight factor. I love having fault scenarios. So the flight factor, you have to inject those faults. IFR Sim, $2 ball. Thank you so much, man, for your support on the channel. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. Any recommended on a UL training close to Spinks Air? Spinks Air. IFR Sim. Unfortunately, no. Any recommendation on UL training? Are you talking about in... What are you talking about? Spinks Air. Oh, you're talking about Spinks Airport. Spinks Airport. Oh, okay. I don't, you know, off the top of my head, not really, no. That's south of downtown, isn't it? I really don't have any right off the top of my head, man. I know I'm more familiar with like North Texas, but I'll think about it and you know, send me a message in the Discord. Send me a PM about what you're looking to find, and maybe I can help you out there. But unfortunately, no, I'm more north. I'm North Texas, so I'm about 45 an hour north of DFW Airport. So that area is a little bit unfamiliar to me. But appreciate your support, man. Wish I had a better answer for you. All right, so let's pull out our failures here. So I do love having a random faults because you don't have to put them in and then you know that it's coming, because that's kind of silly, right? But the Toliss allows random faults. I run a flight time factor of 100. I think that's pretty decent. So we're going to set that up here. Let me pull out my emergency procedures checklist here. And that was a TR2 fault. I'm pretty sure that's a crew awareness. Electric. Rand Cooley. Oh boy, Rand Cooley coming in with a $25 bomb himself. He says, okay, can't let those guys beat me out on donations, so here is some money for iPad resupply and bourbon to mourn iPad passing. Oh, Rand, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you for your support of the channel. That is a huge $25 bomb. I will definitely, you know, you're just in time because I finished my bourbon on that last flight we did with the bourbon. So we're going to replenish the bourbon and I will enjoy it. And I will salute to my iPad, which is no longer with us. Rand, appreciate it, man. Thank you for that. All right, electric TR2 fault. Here it is. Crew awareness. TR1 is in op. Cat 3 dual is in op, so we can only do a Cat 1 single engine. Thank goodness I didn't think we needed, or a Cat 1 or Cat 3 single, not Cat 3 dual. So we can't auto land essentially, but that's all right. We're not going to be doing an auto land tonight, so it's crew awareness. We'll let it be. But that is one thing that I do enjoy about the Toliss is this random fault injection here. Keeps you on your toes. Keeps you on your toes. Colin Shirley says, you have now received enough donations for X Enviro. Can't speak as to how much YouTube takes from Super Chat, though. Yeah, Colin, we're going to be heading down the X Enviro rabbit hole. It appears so, but hey, I'm all about what you guys want to see. So if you want to see it, we'll do it. Yeah, YouTube does, YouTube is pretty harsh on their percentage that they take from Super Chats. But hey, man, it's all in fun, and I really appreciate every single penny you guys throw to support this channel. It's fantastic. Really appreciate every single one of you. Issa says, I never set faults online, only random when offline flying. Yeah, that might be a good idea, but it might be more fun, too, to do it online, because what if you get a fault and you have to divert or something, you know? It might be kind of cool to coordinate that with ATC and get that all set up. So would love to hear you speak on how and when to use track FPA mode, Prime Mover. Prime, we use track FPA mode, or I use it, pretty much exclusively for a localizer approach. And I have a localizer approach video on my channel right now. It goes in depth on a localizer approach and how we set it up in the box. I go through the chart, and it's going into San Diego on the loc. That is when I really use the track FPA mode, because that's when you set up, you know, you want to match your descent rate with a flight path angle of 3 degrees, 3.5 degrees, whatever it may be that you're trying to accomplish. So that's when I really use the track FPA push button. If you haven't already, it's the localizer, real world like localizer approach or something like that on my channel. And it's a rather extensive tutorial on how to set it up. But pretty much that's the only time I'm going to use track FPA mode.
Donation.
Retarded student pilot coming in with a $30 bomb. He says, and this for some vodka. Retarded student pilot, man, thank you so much for your support. Huge bomb here on the channel. Really appreciate it, man. Definitely have to replenish the vodka. We went through that vodka pretty good on those MD80 streams. You know, I kind of enjoyed that, though, having the vodka and orange juice, throwing it back to Denzel Washington when he did his flight, the movie Flight. So really appreciate that, retarded student pilot. Thank you for your support, man. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much.
Look up.
Jackson Aviation, welcome aboard. Glad you're enjoying the content. Max Waldorf, how's it going, man? V1, did you get the fix from Gliding Kiwi? Tested okay on my end. Max, I did not. I'll be honest with you, I didn't check. I just have the, I believe it was the release candidate version from yesterday or something. Yeah, I don't have, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I don't have anything in here. I hope I didn't miss anything, man. But no, I didn't. I'm running the same version that I had yesterday, which seemed to work fine into LA. Fortunately, I haven't had any issues. Let's hope that stays the same. Colin Shirley says, goodness, I just looked up Super Chat cut and YouTube takes 30% before any taxes, fees, or... Yeah, definitely, man. They, the Super Chat, YouTube takes a handle on that. So if you guys are, you know, if you want to support something, like we're going to be doing the SimWing support project stream here, hopefully on Friday. And that's going to be, if you're in a position to help somebody and support a good cause, I would recommend if you do donate, to donate through the actual link, because that goes directly to the SimWing support team, and it's not, you know, YouTube doesn't take a huge chunk of that. But that's for, we'll talk about that more as the week progresses. Exclamation point SimWings if that's something that you're interested in. Like I said, spearheaded by Dougal and McTavish. Best airplane on X-Plane 11, says Jackson Aviation. TBM 900. No. I don't know, man. That's tough. That's tough because I really enjoy some light GA stuff. I enjoy airliners. It's really hard to pin just one down. IFR Sim, I sent you a Discord just now. IFR Sim, appreciate it, man. I will catch up with you after the stream. Thank you, man. Max says, "Oh, okay. Thought he would send you something, especially for a TOD, CTD, but yeah, I'm not sure, Max. I haven't heard anything. Hopefully, we don't get a TOD top of descent bug. That would not be very cool. Hit me up on Discord. I'll send you the fix. Excellent, Max. I will do that, man. Appreciate it. Let's cross our fingers here as we approach our TOD for New Orleans. And we should probably start thinking about setting up here. Oh, yeah, we need to start down. Goodness. All right, let's go ahead and just start. We'll go ahead and manage 20. Oh, I thought it was going to crash there. It didn't. All right, we're starting down. Let's go ahead and look at our arrival here. This shoots us right into the Loke. Let's refresh the active sky METAR. Let me see what New Orleans is reported. Right now, 150 at 10, gust 16. 150 now. So they're probably landing 1-1. That would be 40 degrees versus 2-0, which would be 50 degrees. Realistically, though, I think active sky is wrong. They normally like to land 2-0. We'll screw it. We'll land on 1-1. It's longer runway. We're in a 321. Let's stack the odds in our favor, right? Captain Florida says, I did my first flight at age 14 in a 152. That is fantastic, Captain Florida. I did my first flight in a 150 when I was 13. Can't wait to get my license when I'm of age. Captain Florida, fantastic, man. You stick with it, man. Keep that fire and drive, and just go for it. You can never start too young, man. That's what I always tell people. You can never start too young. Paul Hendrick, I don't want to go to work. Great stream. I'm a silent lurker, but absolutely love watching your content. Paul Hendrick, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. Glad you were able to catch a live stream and hang out with us and chat, man. Grand Cooler says, so it's better for you to use Streamlabs shown on the page. I want money to go to you and not Google. They don't need it. That's correct. Yeah, so if you are to donate, the actual donation link where it says support the channel.
Donation.
Dirk from Munich coming in with a $5 bomb. Yeah, so the Streamlabs support channel, that link goes directly in. Thanks for the content. Greetings from Germany. Dirk from Munich, man, really appreciate that $5 bomb. Thank you so much for your support to the channel. Really appreciate it. All right, we gotta focus here on getting this thing set up. So let's set up for the ILS/visual to 1-1. So I'm gonna change the approach here. This is probably gonna mess up the arrival. Maybe it won't. Nope, didn't. All right, good. All right, so that looks good. So we're going to set up for 1-1 ILS. Nothing to hard tune. I'm going to put it in here. KMSY. Just a quick and dirty bearing. Perf page, a descent. What do we have for environmentals? Right now it's 150 at 10. We won't put in the gust factor. We're just going to put in 150 at 10. Temperature is 22. QNH is... I couldn't find it on this... 3012. MDA for the straight-in ILS is going to be 204. We'll throw that in there. That looks good. Fuel, how are we looking? 1 hour and 6 minutes extra gas. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and copy the active flight plan just in case. So our descent is set. Our bottom altitude, what we need to set in there is going to be, I think this arrival runs into the approach, so it's relatively low. Let's see, turbojet, Louis Armstrong, landing east, 250 at 11. So yeah, we'll set 11,000. Uh-oh. Oh. Wow. I thought we had a crash there. Now I'm holding my breath because I keep thinking the airplane's going to crash to desktop. But all right, we've got it set up. 204, 11,000 is blue. I think that might have been X Enviro. Wow, something spiked my CPU out there. Maxed it out for a minute. Overcast 27,000 shouldn't be a problem. We're a little bit high on profile. Let's get the speed brakes out. Get back down on it here. All right, we can get back to the chat. Airman Roman, a tutorial on how to talk to ATC would be fantastic. Yeah, I'm still working with that, man. That's why I got the Pilot Edge going this month. I just took a break from it for this stream so we can talk a little bit more about systems and stuff like that. But it's definitely in my mind, Airman. Definitely. IFR says, when you're flying offline, do you put the arriving airport QNH in the box? When you change it in the box, if it's changed close to airfield. Israel, thank you for subscribing, man. So, IFR Sim, yeah, the way we do it in real life at 250 miles, that's kind of our, that initiates our descent approach phase of flight, right? So I can tell we're back on profile because the engines are spooling up. So let's go ahead and reset the speed brake. Perfect. So yeah, we'll set it up at 250 miles, and then as I come in, I'll just leave it. I may update it one more time, but offline, I'm not too worried about it, as long as I'm in the ballpark. Zeke Morrow has become a member. Zeke, welcome to the channel. Absolutely fantastic, man. Positive rates in chat for all my members out there already. Welcoming a new member. Wow, we just had a generator 2 fault. Okay, that's actually not a good thing. Electric Gen 2 fault, Gen 2 off. All right, so let's go ahead and get the APU fired up. I'm going to start the APU right now. Electric Gen 2 off. All right, clear electric, clear electric. So right now we're running a single generator. We're getting a compound failure here. Clear electric, clear electric. INOP systems Gen 2 clear status. All right, I'm going to the comm. So we've got to look at this one up here. This could turn into a very bad situation. I've never had this before. But again, this is why I like, you talk about you trying to compare Airbuses. Having this failure simulation is fantastic. This is a big one here. Electric Gen 2 off. Electric Gen 1-2 fault. Was it a fault? Electric Gen 2 fault. Generator at effective side off, then on. So we're going to see if we can reset it here. So I'm going to pull up the electric page. We'll go to the overhead. Nope, it's still faulted out. That's off. Mojo Pilot just subscribed. Thank you, man. Welcome. All right, so off and then on. If available, the APU may be started and the APU generator used. Cat 3 single only. INOP systems, main galley only if APU gen is not online. Gen 2 and Cat 3 dual. Okay, so we're still got 2 generators, which is good. Now, I actually did a stream on this a a while back about running with the APU, because I've had this real life where I've had a generator inoperative. I actually dispatched with an inop generator, and you have to run with the APU on. So right now, look at this, and Toliss has this modeled correctly. Please don't forget to save before TOD. Do I need to manually save it? Oh no. So this is a correct rendition here of the systems modeling, and this lets you guys know a little bit more behind the scenes of what's going on here. You're not just flying an airplane on the outside. This is an actual breathing machine here. Generator 1 is still online, powering TR1 via AC bus 1. It is also powering the TR Essential, or the Essentials from the AC Essential bus here. So that is correct. Now that I've fired up the APU generator, I can now power AC bus 2. And check this out. If I turn off the APU gen, which I would not do this in real life, now look, generator 1 is powering AC bus 2 via the bus tie. So if I press the bus tie here, then we'd be in no good situation. We're not going to do that. We're going to turn the APU generator back online, and now things are working. Let's get even more sketchy. Let's turn off generator 1. Look at that. APU generator picked up everything. But that was no good. So we don't want to do that in real life. But everything else is back to normal. So we are still running 2 generators, even though Gen 2 is off. TR bus 2 or TR2 failed. So we've got some serious gremlins in this airplane right now. Definitely going to have to hit up New Orleans maintenance. I'd call dispatch right now, be like, hey, let them know we got maintenance on the ground in New Orleans, please. This is probably go home day. It's probably just a New Orleans turn. I thought I'd be back before dinner, and now I'm going to be stuck in New Orleans overnight. That would be the realistic simulation. All right, so Addons at 250 knots. We're out of 13. Things are looking good. We're at 35 knots on the tail. We should be okay. All right, what was the meter? Now I got a little bit distracted here. We got to catch back up. Don't mean to ignore you guys in chat, but we got to make sure we get down safely. So 3012. 3012 is set, and that's out of 18,000. So you can stop flashing at us. Perfect. And you can just clear that off. I hate having that on that page. There we go. A little bit more risk. Bill A, thank you for the subscription, man. Welcome aboard. All right. Oof. Okay. I think we're back caught up. What'd I miss? Call it truly. V1. Okay, that's not actually a good thing. Yeah, no, that's... you go down to single generator, start to sweat a little bit. I actually started to get a little sweaty palm there just because simulation, man, that's a good sign. If it feels real, that means it's doing a good job at simulating a real-life experience, right? So having that generator trip offline like that, not going to lie, my heart increased a little bit just because I know the ramifications of having a single generator and what could happen next, especially if I had that TR2 fault. If this was real life, you'd be thinking, okay, TR2 faulted, Gen 2 faulted. Do I have some type of compounding problem in the Airbus right now? So, to be honest with you, I'd probably go New Orleans approach, Spirit Wings 321. We need any chance for a shortcut because we've got a couple issues here we're working with. Like, yeah, go ahead and proceed direct to Voodoo. Cut the corner. Direct Voodoo, descend and maintain 8,000, Spirit Wings 321. All right, 8,000 direct Voodoo, Spirit 321. So I cut the corner. We need to get on the ground now because at this point I do not know if I have a compounding problem happening and I'm going to lose additional systems. So now my focus is we're close enough to the airport. This is not a divert situation. I wouldn't want to divert for no reason. But since we're already close to our destination, let's not dilly-dally. So we're getting ready to come through 10,000 feet, get the Chinese speed brakes out there, help our descent. We'll go ahead and slow down. We're at a 10.7. I'm going to select speed 250 knots, activate and confirm the approach phase. New member in chat. I'm going to look at it here in just a minute. Activate and confirm. The Driver 83. Welcome to Private Pilot, man. Exclamation point, welcome. Thank you so much for joining the channel. And I'll just say it since it's been a little while, but if you guys are new, becoming members, you get access to the V1 After Dark podcast. I talk about personal experiences. I talk about Airbus versus Boeing. Every month that comes out. And then you also have access to the V1 After Dark Discord section, which is easier to communicate to me in and out there because I can sync up that channel to alert me when people are talking and we can have a conversation rather than trying to hunt down old messages in the Discord because it can get pretty busy in there at times. So a couple extra perks for you guys. Really appreciate it, driver. Welcome to the channel, man. Good to have you on board. Is it accurate to have each engine just under 12 quarts of oil? Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that. Where are we at? 11.7? Yeah. It's getting low. It probably need to be serviced on the ground, maybe. All right, we're descending 8. Let's go ahead and go all the way down. Let's go ahead and dial in 4,000. I'm going to go open descent. Let's pull up our ILS approach here. ILS to 1-1. Mudbug is at 2,000. So I'm just going to go ahead and set 2,000. We're going to set 2,000, open descent. I'm going to direct Mudbug. That's the final approach fix. Brian Barry, thank you for the subscription, man. Welcome on board. All right, so we're direct to Mudbug. Out of 7,000, we're still doing 250. We're activated and confirmed. I never did my approach brief because we got disoriented here. We're going to go into New Orleans, 109.9. That's auto-tune. MDA is 204 feet. That's in the box there. We've got the APU on. We've got Gen 2 faulted. And a TR2 fault as well. We'll keep that in mind. We're Cat 1 or Cat 3 single only. Cat 3 is Cat 3 all in op? Let's see. No, it's not. It's just a Cat 3 dual. So we should only get Cat 3 single in the FMA. We'll see what happens there. And we're going to use manual brakes, full reverse. Actually, no, it is gusty down there. So just like in real life, if it's pretty gusty on the crosswinds, I will use auto brakes because you get a little bit more even wear on the brake temperature when you use auto brakes. So I don't want to get high on this approach. I feel like we're getting high already. We may have to vector us here. So we got the speed brake out. I'm going to get down first, and then we can slow down. Let's get down and then slow down. Captain Geo, what's up, man? Check DM in Discord. I will check it here in a second, man. So we just got on the final approach segment. Oh, yeah, Geo. Look at that MD-11 and a 321 with IAEs. Now we're talking, Geo. Now we're talking, man. Fantastic, dude. Excellent shots. All right, I got to keep my Discord shut, though. That's one thing I've noticed. When I get Discord open, flying this plane, my CPU spikes pretty hard. All right, so we're good. We'll go ahead and close that. Cayman Plane Spotter, welcome to the channel, man. Thank you for subscribing. Somebody had a landing light fall in their yard, Phantom? Dude, that's fantastic. I'd love to keep one of those. Oh, you'd be... Yeah, I hear you, man. Me too. AvGeek07, what's going on, man? Welcome. Just in time, man. We're on our initial final, if you want to call it that, for runway 11 in New Orleans. Pretty gusty down there. We got a nice little crosswind. It should be fun. I'm really going to try to be diligent about maintaining that center line, but we'll see. Get my seat here all proper. Make sure our screens are ready. So we're descending below, but that's fine. We got to slow down. We're still doing 250. Tom Coppins, what's up, man? Welcome to the channel, man. So right about meow. Once we hit 2,000, we're going to dial it straight back to 180.
2,500.
Go down, and then you can slow down. So right now, I'm just going to dial in a 180. Airplane will begin slowing. Oh, Phantom said that was a joke. I was talking about how I've seen missing ones. Oh, yeah. Wouldn't it be cool, though, to actually have one of the landing lights? Somebody posted in the Discord a taxi light as a tabletop stand. I think that would be cool. Speed alt star. I actually want an engine cowling bar set. I think that would be cool. How cool would that be? All right, here comes VFE. We'll go ahead and get the slats out. Flaps 1. Let's go ahead and turn up the sounds a little bit here. We had them turned down.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
James Miller, welcome. Thank you for subscribing, man. Welcome on board. All right, we're approaching VFE next -10. So we'll drop flaps 2 here. Watch the double slotted flaps come out. We talked about that. Reduces the AOA on final approach. Help with the risk of unemployment. Well, that too, but risk of tail strike. Slam Cannon coming in with a $10 bomb. He says, this is all the money I have left after getting into aviation. Please use it for a beverage of your choice. Slam Cannon, oh my gosh, man, that's generous of you, especially. I should be giving you $10, man, for your solo today. Congrats again, Slam Cannon, for your first solo. Thank you so much for your support on the channel. I'm going to need a beverage after this stream for sure. Especially as I go through the frustrations of installing Xenviro. Dimitri, I hope you got your DM ready. Renmix Kev, thank you for subscribing, man. Welcome on board. All right, we are 180 knots, 2,000, flaps 2. We are in a good position to land on 1-1. Just like I've said in all my streams, guys, if you're flaps 2, 180 knots, 2,000 feet above the touchdown zone, you're not going to be unstable. You will be configured on time by 1,000 feet almost every time, unless you're doing some crazy approach with a pretty steep approach path. United Airlines, am I a real pilot? Yes, you caught me, man. Definitely. Welcome aboard. All right, so we don't want to be configured full in level flight, so we're going to just wait until we intercept that glide slope here, and then I will manage the speed, gear down, we'll get fully configured, and then we'll kick the autopilot off. And I'm really going to try to get this flare thing down. We'll see. I'm going to intentionally tell myself not to flare early, like I should, even though that's how I would flare it. The timing's off, so I'm going to try to nail that here. So here comes the speed, here comes the glide slope. All right, I'm going to ignore the chat here as we get ready for this final approach segment. So manage speed, gear down, arm the speed brakes. Flight attendants are known, VFE -10, flaps 3. Oh, I never had the approach mode armed. Rip life. Autopilot off. Flaps full. Goodness. Who do you fly for, man? Cabin signs are not on. Wow, we really messed that up. Flight director's off, please. Flight director's off. Give me the bird. We're hand flying. Totally missed the approach capture there. Make sure you arm the approach, guys. That's something you might want to do when you're doing an ILS. Seatbelt signs. Yeah. Yeah, we've got a Gen 2 fault and the TR2 fault, so we still have 2 generators because I got the APU running. Well, we had to launch that up here on our top of descent. All right, we're 1,000 feet. Look at that. We're 1,000 feet stable and then some. Approaching the beautiful vertical sim MSY. I do love this airport vertical sim's got. 2 whites, 2 reds. I'm not going to try to get unstable either. I do want to keep this up so I can look at the wind. The driver! I can't see that $10 donation. I'm going to read it anyway because I appreciate your support, man. It says, thank you for sharing all your knowledge with us. You and X-Plane 1972 brought me into flight sims, and it's awesome. Would like to see you back in the King Air. The driver, man, thank you so much for your support on this channel. Really appreciate that huge bomb. And I definitely would love to get back into King Air as well. I think it's time we get back, do some prop flying here in just a little bit. I may be demoted from flying Airbuses here after this landing. We'll see. All right, we are 500 stable, 2 whites, 2 reds. We're on the slope here. 11 knot crosswind. So in X-plane, that translates to about a 35 knot crosswind in real life. That's just an X-plane.
400.
Getting a little low there. A little low there,
300.
Captain.
200. 100.
Looking good.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Woof.
Subscriber ahead.
Spoilers.
Look up.
Reverse green. The D-cell. Again with the float there. 70 knots. Wow, my rudder pedals. Sorry about that little draw there. We'll go ahead and take the next left here and clear the runway. Welcome on to Charlie in a 321. How do you like them apples? We're going to have hot brakes for sure. So let's look at our numbers here. 3 feet from center line, acceptable, not ideal. 48 feet above threshold, acceptable.
Donation.
Not ideal, but hey, we're there. 48 feet. I'll take that plus or minus 2. Zeke Morrow, $10 bomb donation. He says, you are awesome. Keep on flying. Cheers. Zeke, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for your $10 bomb, man. Thank you. I will keep on flying, man. You guys motivate me to keep going, keep teaching. I love teaching in general, but being able to continue that teaching on YouTube here with you guys is I love doing it, and you guys are so receptive of it, which is what drives me to continue and produce more and better content for each and every one of you. So yeah, we smoked the brakes on that one. What are we looking at? 390. Woof. All right, so we're gonna wait till we get to the gate to activate the brake fans. Funyun, what I miss here? Any consideration for the airfoil King Air? Oh yeah, that's the King Air I meant, man. I think that's a phenomenal add-on. The Airfoil Labs King Air. Issa says everyone's getting close to 240 this week. Yeah, I'm struggling, man. I'm struggling to pin it down. What yoke do I use? I actually have a honeycomb yoke, but right now I'm using the Warthog throttle. I'm sorry, Warthog joystick for the Airbus. Carter says, yep, notice this bird really likes to float even at 30 feet flare. Yeah, so I'd have to talk with the developers on that. Like, I don't feel it's pitching down. At 30 feet, it should do a 2-degree pitch down in 8 seconds. Hence why you initiate the pitch back and you get that feeling. At 30 feet, I initiate the flare and I go right into float mode. And I think that's because it's not quite I don't know, I'm spitballing here. I could be totally wrong. I could just suck. But I don't feel it's not how I would do it in the real plane. If I were to flare that late where I didn't float, you'd be 3-pointing the heck out of it. So I don't know. We'll dissect this landing. That's why I love replay. We're going to dissect this. We'll dive into it, and then I'll read a little bit from the flare mode. Actually, I have it right here. So, or I did, but I got rid of it because here we go. And we're going to go park next to that Spirit bus over there. We'll go ahead and kill taxi light.
Donation.
Amex coming in with a $5 bomb, man. I'm sorry, $3 bomb. What is up, man? Thank you so much for your support. It says, hey, V1, what's your opinion on the 321 compared to real-life 321? Really like the 321, both real and sim. Hey, man, I enjoy them both in the sim and in real life. Definitely like flying 321 around. And I do think it's a good plane and X-plane. I really do. I think it hand flies very well. I know there's 2 things that I'm still trying to work on. I don't know, like I said, I'm not saying that they're wrong. It's just I need more information on is the V-speed calculations and the flare mode. I got to dial in more here, and we're going to dissect this replay as well. But other than that, man, I really enjoy flying this 321 around. I think Toliss has done a great job. You look at where the 319 was when it came out, and then you look at the 321 where it is when it came out, and it's they've made leaps and bounds, man. So I think it's really fantastic. 7 meters, huh? 6 meters. We'll see how accurate you are here, Vertical Sim. Brake set. APU is already on, so we'll go ahead and kill engine 2. Seatbelts. Engine 1. Spooling them down. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to New Orleans. All right, so here's an excerpt real quick before we look at the replay. When reaching 50 foot, auto trim ceases and the flight control law changes to flare mode. The system memorizes the attitude at 50 feet, and that attitude becomes the initial reference for pitch attitude control. As the aircraft descends through 30 feet, the system begins to reduce the pitch attitude to -2 degrees nose down over a period of 8 seconds. Consequently, the pilot will have to move the stick rearward so as to reproduce conventional aircraft aerodynamic characteristics. The flare technique is thus very conventional. So, I also say prior to flare, avoid destabilization, which is exactly what happened to us in Los Angeles yesterday, which we ended up with some issues on that landing. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the replay here. We're going to disable real view for sure, so we don't mess that up. Real view is disabled. Perfect. Let's put this into a replay mode. Slam Cannon says, good and safe landing V1. Don't need to be babied with the butter. All is good back here in the back cabin. Hey, man. Excellent. I think I'm gonna come up with a new term. So, like, what's slightly firmer than butter? It's gonna be my new term. I gotta think of a baking substance that's firmer than butter, but not hard. So we'll go ahead and get the brake fans on now. All right, let's get the replay. Let's back it up. Go a little bit further. It's a little far. That'll work. All right, let's study this PFD here first on this first approach.
$300.
Got a little wonky there.
$200.
All right, so here we go. We're coming over the threshold. Vertical Sim, MSY looking freaking awesome.
$100.
So we hit 48 feet over the threshold, so that was good.
50. 40. 30.
All right, so right now, the airplane should begin a pitch down to -2 degrees within 8 seconds. So everything here looks good. Let's continue.
20.
And I began my flare, and as I began flaring, I don't know. Shoot, I don't know, man. What was our touchdown pitch here? Let's look at that in slow-mo. Cold butter? Frozen butter? I want to look at the touchdown pitch from the inside here. Right. All right, so there was our touchdown. So that, we didn't 3-point it. We are a little bit low. Yeah, we're only about 2.5 degrees. We could have been a little bit higher up, just below ref speed. Where was our touchdown? Right in the touchdown zone, so that's looking good. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Definitely substantial, JCP. Appreciate it. Thank you. I can't believe it's not butter. Yeah, it should be saying flare there, Carta, and I believe it did in real life. In the replay, it doesn't show it. I mean, it dropped. Who knows? It just dropped out of the sky. Right about 10 feet or so off the ground, it just plopped down. I love this volumetric grass there, the cargo ramp. Looking nice. And then my rudder's on the touchdown there. That's on me. But it wasn't terrible. It's not terrible. When I do landing, always damage high speed and inspection needed. Yeah, no inspection needed on this one. Oh yeah. I'm in shoot. 240. All right, let's take a look at my favorite view. Back it up. We'll watch one from right here. Nice little crab. Began to flare. See, it just wants to float. I think... Oof. Yeah, and then we just came down. I don't know. Then we just came down. All right, guys. It's that time. Back it up. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in here on this lovely Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, Sunday late evening, Sunday early morning, wherever you may be from. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. A lot of new members on this channel on the stream. We really appreciate you guys joining. Welcome aboard the B1 Simulations community. Really happy to have you on board. All my mods, donors, sponsors, you guys just hanging out and chat with us. You guys are freaking awesome. Love and appreciate every single one of you. Until the next time, guys, I hope you are enjoying the 321, and I will catch you all on the next stream. So until then, stay safe, man. Again, Slam Cannon, congratulations on your first solo today, buddy. That is freaking awesome. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.